You know, y'all, ever since the Me Too movement, as a society, we have been learning so much about rape, sexual harassment, sexual assault, and everything in between. And we're coming to realize that it doesn't just affect women, and that there are men who are touched by this thing as well. Recently, Christian Keys, the actor, model, producer, the good looking boy on the Tyler Perry page, y'all know him. He came out and said he's been sexually harassed by somebody rich and powerful in Hollywood, a billionaire, offered $100,000 to get naked. And the internet is speculating who it is. I know who it is. Want to talk about it? Here you go. Nessa girl, I don't know if you heard or not, or if you smelt it, but Christian Keystone set the whole damn internet on fire. Papa did a Instagram live vlog or a social media vlog where he revealed that just like so many others in Hollywood, he too has been sexually harassed. But the gag is the sexual harassment is not even the surprising part, right? You know, it's sad to say, but being sexually harassed in Hollywood is almost expected. It's the who that's got people going crazy. And there's a lot for us to unpack and digest here. So I'm going to start from the beginning. I'm going to speak from the heart. There are times in this conversation, I'm here to tell you now, where things are going to sound a tad bit insensitive. But I'm just speaking purely from reaction, emotion, and how I felt, with no intention of trying to take away anything from Christian's experience, but these are just the things that were going through my mind. So when I first, let me back up and say, I met Christian Keys many years ago when he was filming Saints and Sinners. They were staying at the 12 Hotel in Atlantic Station. I used to live at the 12 Hotel in the Atlantic Station, and they would be down at the bar. He's a cool brother. He's my fraternity brother. Very cool cat from the little bit that I've interacted with him. When I first saw the video, in my mind, the first thing that was going through my mind is, can you please speed up your speech and get to the point? It gave me, I'm doing everything in my power to sit here and talk slow and garner sympathy. Again, I'm not trying to be mean or rude. I'm just saying what was going through my mind when I instantly looked at it. So I'm just looking at it and I'm like, Negro, please get to the point. It don't take 40 minutes for you to explain all of what was going on. And then I began to side-eye the situation, right? Because I'm just like, how convenient is this? You know what I'm saying? Now, some people would argue that Cassie and the Diddy situation paved the way for people to feel more comfortable to come out with sexual assault claims against the Hollywood elite. And, after Cassie doing so, Christian may have been emboldened or empowered to do so. But in the back of my mind, I honestly was feeling like, oh, he saw the check that Cassie got. Now he want to get his. That's honestly how I felt. And I'm going to explain to you why. We're learning that men can be sexually assaulted, men can be raped, and the impact of those can affect them just as harshly as the impacts of sexual assault and rape can affect women sometimes. But when it comes to sexual harassment, I'm not going to lie, there is a bit of a societal double standard that kind of leans in the favor of women. When a woman says it, she gains more sympathy. She gains more understanding because, femininity, womanhood is viewed as fragile and beneath masculinity, right? The masculinity is the dominant force of nature. And, how is it possible a man could be sexually assaulted? How is it possible that a man could be raped by another man? That's just kind of how society tends to feel. It's a double standard that may not be fair, but it works in the favor of women. But here is where things get a little complicated and convoluted for me. Being a black gay boy, let me back up before I say, because some of y'all are going to say, Funky Dineva, he didn't say a name. How do you know the person is black? I've been told who the person is, and I'm not going to reveal it because it's not my story to tell, okay? But the person is black. With that being said, the first thing going through my mind was just all of the trauma that I went through as a gay boy coming up dealing with other black men, right? And as a gay black male, you learn very early on to not mess around with straight boys on that gay energy from fear of getting beat up. You get your ass beat. You often learn how to, if you lean on the more feminine side, you learn to butch it up when around straight men and in straight environments. Now, it has been my experience that when a gay male gets comfortable flirting with, coming on to, or making advances to a straight man, he has been signaled in such a way that has let him know it is safe for him to do that without getting his ass whooped. Okay? My experience. I'm not saying that's what Christian did, but these are just the things that were going through my mind, making me go, The second thing that went through my mind is that there is a demographic out there of very good-looking men, and undoubtedly, Christian Keys is fine as all hell. He is extremely attractive. Just like women who understand that beauty is currency, and their hips and ass and face can open up doors, get them rich husbands, get them jobs that they don't qualify. Men understand the same concept. They understand it so much so that you will find in a lot of gay clubs, drag bars, gay strip clubs, that straight men are the bartenders, the dancers, the security guards, the DJs, because they've realized that being straight, showing off their body, and selling the illusion of one day you might be able to come home with me garners them a hell of a lot more tips than they would make in a straight environment. I just don't see a world where another gay black man would step to Christian on some gay energy if he wasn't remotely signaled that Christian was down with the shit, or Christian was open to suggestion. All right. And I'm not victim blaming here. I'm just explaining my experience from my vantage point and how society kind of works with this male to male, gay to straight relationship thing. The impact may be the same as man on woman, but the song and dance, the courtship dance, is a lot different. Now, there's an argument that could be made that goes, well, you know, said gay man, because he had so much money and power, knew for a fact that Christian wouldn't beat him up, Christian wouldn't out him, Christian wouldn't go to HR, Christian wouldn't do blah, 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 blah. Perhaps. But I still don't think the money and the power overrides the psychology. And based on the age of the said perpetrator, they really come from an age place where you'll get your ass beat for coming at a straight man that way. Additionally, a lot of people in the comments were saying, it couldn't have been me. I'd have whooped said person's ass. And you know what? I don't expect to hear any other response, especially from the black community, and especially how homophobic the black community could be. Those things don't lend themselves to Christian garnering a lot of sympathy from the general public. And again, let me reiterate, I'm not denying his experience. I'm not saying Christian is lying. I believe him. I believe everything he said happened. I believe him. All right. But I'm just simply explaining the reflex responses and reactions that I had as I was listening to this thing. Listen, the Me Too movement taught me very well, man, woman, or flower pot, when somebody comes out with this type of thing, that you believe them. You know what I'm saying? And so I do believe Christian experienced what he experienced, but I also believe that there are some details that have been left out that make this thing make a little more sense. I am also of the belief and fully aware that attractive people use their beauty as entrance cards. All right? Christian is fully aware of how he looks physically, and granted, he can't help it. It was just something that happened by chance, via biology, whatever the case may be. And I do believe that Christian, just like many others, have leveraged his physicality to get places, and there's nothing wrong with that. You got to use what you want. Use what you have to get what you want. But sometimes when you leverage your beauty, these are the types of things that happen. You invite unwanted advances. You know what I'm saying? And there are subtle things. Listen. And straight men, especially attractive straight men, they pull stunts and shows all the time. I can give y'all countless numbers of times where I have been at a bar or a party and a very good looking straight man will walk up or be in my vicinity, and if I'm ordering a drink, he'll try to slide a drink in there on my tab, or get you to buy them a drink, or get you to pay for their valet, or get you to do all these different things, because they are used to thirsty sissies fawning over them. And once they realize they have that power, and listen, these men are fully straight. They know good and damn well they don't have a gay bone in their body, but they'll take their free drink. They'll be there with their shirt on and flex their chest or squeeze their bicep because they know that they can get something out of the said person. Beauty is currency. Beauty is currency. And you're not going to get me to believe that at no point in Christian's career did he ever not leverage his beauty to get places. I don't know what happened. I was not there. I did not watch, nor did I participate. But you're also not going to convince me that Christian is sitting home somewhere going through the mental anguish and agony that Cassie was. I think when it comes to sex, and again, it's another double standard that doesn't work in the favor of men. Men are better suited to mentally, psychologically, and emotionally detach from the act of sex. For men, oftentimes, it's just a physical act for pleasure, nothing more, nothing less. That's why they say a man will fuck anything. You get a man drunk after the club, he'll fuck the bottom of your shoe. You penetrate a woman, either she gonna go crazy, fall in love, or she's gonna feel taken advantage of if said penetration was unwarranted or unsolicited. You know what I'm saying? Women have a different connection to sex, a different vulnerability to sex, a different power dynamic to sex than men do. So while this may have happened to Christian, and I'm sorry that it did, you're not going to be able to convince me that he just was sitting somewhere, can't go on with his life. And then he was just so distraught. Now again, it don't make it right. It does not make what happened to him right. It doesn't. But I'm not going to lie. It's giving me, let me hop on the bandwagon a little bit and see what I could get. Shit, she just got a big payout. I got a story to tell. Let me tell mine and see what I could get. That's really what it's giving me. And I hate to be mean, but that's what it's giving me. And it sucks, right? Because a lot of people can look at my commentary right now and say, Funky Aniva, what you're saying out of your mouth right now is the reason why a lot of men don't come forward. I acknowledge that. I respect that. I accept that. I recognize the fact that what I'm saying right now lends itself to men staying and hiding sometimes and staying in the closet. And I take full responsibility for that. But I'm also not going to dishonor myself and not tell the truth about how I feel in this situation. The person who did this to Christian is dead wrong, and they deserve any and every consequence that can be levied upon them if they truly did leverage their power and influence to get Christian to act in a way that he instinctually would not have acted. It is wrong. I mean, there is a world where it's very easy for us to say, why didn't you say no? Fuck that job. Walk away. You know, there's another way you could have gone. You know, that's a very easy argument for those of us on the outside to make. But there is a world where somebody is so desperate, and not desperate in a negative, connotation as in destitute or begging, but there's a world where somebody is so desperate to achieve their dream that desperation can be weaponized and leveraged against that person. And maybe that's what happened. Maybe Christian felt that he had to be quiet, or maybe Christian felt that he had to oblige because his desire to reach where he was trying to go in Hollywood was greater than the angst and the discomfort that engaging in said act or accepting said advances levied upon him. And that's the simple answer. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be a big actor so bad that I went along with it. You know what I'm saying? And depending on your moral compass, some people could say, well, you have an ethics issue. You have a moral issue. You compromised your own morals for the sake of chasing Hollywood. And I wouldn't do that. And it's very easy to say what you would and would not do in a certain situation. Again, I want to point out, when you look at Christian's body size, how muscular he is, it doesn't favor him in the area of garnering sympathy the same way we look at a man at a woman when it comes to the power dynamic, because men tend to be bigger, and we are indoctrinated to believe that women are these soft, fragile flowers that need to be protected. We're not used to looking at men as soft, fragile things that can be manipulated sexually by outside forces. And so that's why the response to Christian is not going to be the same response that a woman gets, although perhaps it should be. Because I'm sure the mental gymnastics, the regret, and all those other negative feelings that one feels after enduring something like this are the same between the sexes. Now, I did an Instagram post where I asked, was Christian looking for justice or was he looking for attention? Because you rambled for 40 minutes and you didn't even give us a name. And so for me, it was like, well, without giving us a name, you just stirring up shit on the internet. And why are you talking to us and not a police officer or not an attorney? I'm not going to lie to you. I still think that there's a certain level of attention seeking rooted in all of this, because I think the appropriate course of action before you came to the internet would have been to go to the police and to go to your attorney. I didn't watch the whole 40-minute video because Christian was just talking too damn slow. And I'm not going to lie to you, the solemn and somber acting, I just kind of saw through it and it was kind of annoying me, so I turned it off. But the people told me that he does plan to go to the police and does plan to get the authorities involved. I'm going to be very honest with you. I don't think that's going to happen. My spirit simply tells me we will not get a name or a police report. And if we do, I have no problem coming back and eating my words. I honestly do not believe we're going to get a name or a police report. I don't. Now, maybe that could be part of Christian strategy. Whoever it is that did this, they know that they did it. They know that they did it. And perhaps, unlike Diddy, said person will step to the plate and probably settle the situation before it even gets that big, if that's the situation. But y'all mark my words, we're not going to get a name. We're not going to get a name, and we're not going to get a police report in the situation. Now, where I do take slight issue with Christian is that a lot of people are catching stray bullets right now. And you cannot tell somebody how to come out, tell somebody how to tell their story, tell somebody how to feel. But I do believe, especially as people who are in influential positions such as actors, entertainers, and athletes, that you do carry a certain level of social responsibility. And then too, when you recognize that the Hollywood elite amongst the blacks is very few, Christian, you see social media, you see the responses, and you see all the names that people are calling out. I think that it's imperative that if you're not going to say who it is, that you say who it is not. All right. And yeah, there's an argument to be made that in saying who it is not, that's going to directly pinpoint who it is. Oh, well, truth be told, you've already given enough context clues for people to deduce who it is. And it's who y'all think it is, okay? You've already given enough context clues. If you look through the names of people that they are throwing out on the list, the name is recurring. I think that it's imperative that you exonerate those that have nothing to do with this, because what ends up happening now, people could have projects on the table right now, or people could be in talks with people right now, and in the back of people's minds that make the decision, they may put somebody's project on hold because they want to see how this thing plays out, and this thing may not even have anything to do with said person. So, Christian, if you it's kind of weird, right? Because on one token, the injured party has to deal with their injury and may not even have the emotional or mental capacity to help out others. But Christian, my brother, you're going to have to find a way to exonerate those people who have nothing to do with this expeditiously. Now, I don't know if you're actually going to go file the police report, and you're going to do that pretty soon. Then it'll all be out there. But sooner than later, I think just on some black man shit, on some there's not that many of us in Hollywood that control things, and that I don't want to maim those brothers, that you need to come out and say who it was not. All in all, y'all, I hope that this situation gets resolved. Christian Keys, what you did, I think, was brave, just as long as your intentions are pure and that this is not an attention seeking money grab. You know, if your intentions are pure, um, if they're not pure, the universe will take care of you one way or another. But Christian Keys, Terry Crews, and others like them have shown us that these things do happen to men as well. But I just thought it was important to y'all that I break down some of the nuance between the male to male interactions, because while it may appear to be the same on the surface when it's man to woman, it's a little more nuanced than that. And especially when you talk about within the black community and you layer in religion and homophobia and all of those other things, it's a bit more convoluted than that. And this situation has me challenging my own beliefs, my own experiences. It has me doubtful in certain areas. It has me questioning, what was the precursor to said advances. I don't know. My mind is just all over the place. In the words of my co-host Al Reynolds, something in the milk just ain't clean. And something in the milk with this one just ain't clean. With the Cassie situation, it was cut and dry. My spirit was like, oh, cut and dry. No room for interpretation. No room for ambiguity. Nothing is vague. He did everything that the paper said. With this Christian situation, my spirit is telling me there is far more to the story, and that Christian was a participant on some minute level or another. Sorry, not sorry. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. If you're new to my channel, be sure to like and subscribe. And let's drop down in the comments and talk about it and see how everybody feels.